Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I wanted to talk today about some networking improvements that seem to be happening for Alpha 3.0, and then on to talking about the Intel Optane 900p SSD, which arrived today for me, and its performance on gaming and Star Citizen, and is it worth buying one, and a little bit about the Sabre Raven. Performance-wise for networking, they have, amongst other things, optimized the way that the servers handle ships, basically making sure that they update on the server and clients at appropriate ranges now. It's a long way from their fully tweaked bind culling, but it's a step in the right direction. Now less data is going to be sent to the clients and servers. Ships will effectively go into hibernation if they're not doing anything, and this is NPC ships mainly, I suppose, but it will help a lot with performance on the servers. We know that they've been testing with hundreds of NPCs and AI in servers too, and on the Star Citizen Reddit there's been reports that of Evocati testing with 60 plus players, getting an average of 30 FPS as well when they do that. So it looks like a lot is happening for Star Citizen Alpha 3.0 when looking at Alpha 2.6's network issues being addressed. More than I thought, in fact. This, in conjunction with better multi-thread usage, optimized CPU and GPU performance, give Alpha 3.0 some massive potential gains, which would be a good news to everyone, because it's taken a while for it to get there, isn't it? Optane stuff. So I purchased the 280 gig PCI Express Optane 900p SSD. It was £380, which is a very, very expensive drive. I also have the 256GB Samsung SM951 M2 NVMe drive as well. That's certainly not the best NVMe M2 SSD available, and that probably goes to the Samsung 960 Pro, but it's still a pretty good one. Gaming on like GTA 5 and Natural Selection 2. So these are games with huge loading times. They're reduced to a few seconds. They're bam, just bam, bam, done. These Optane drives are significantly magnitudes faster than very powerful M2 and general SSDs. For Star Citizen 2.6.3, the game loads in a couple of seconds. A few more for the PU, but it's extremely quickly. For Arena Commander and Star Marine is where I was noticing the most, where it would load and I'd be waiting for people to load in for 10 plus seconds before anyone else got into the server, unless the game had already started or whatever. In real terms, though, it's around 5-second loading time with these Optane drives with my system when playing Arena Commander, Star Marine, or getting into the hangar, and around 10, 15, top end 20 seconds for the PU for that Optane drive, whereas my M2 drive, my Samsung drive, was 10 to 15 seconds for Star Marine and then 30 to 40 seconds for the PU. The drive, that Optane drive, is the best out there, but it's extremely expensive, and when the next best SSD is half the price for twice the space, so the Samsung 960 Pro 512GB, it kind of puts you in an odd predicament, because if you're an enthusiast with money to burn, yeah, the Optane drive does look appealing, because it's the best, but you can get so much more space with other drives at the moment. So the downsides of the Optane drive really are that it's early tech, it's going to get refined, and I expect to see the second versions of these drives for when Star Citizen is actually released, and them to be larger and cheaper. It's also almost a shame that Star Citizen is going to be seamless. In the short term, while Star Citizen is in alpha really, and relatively unoptimized, these Optane 900B drives are really great, severely reducing load times, making your OS and the other games feel just really a lot more snappy. I think there's a little bit of danger in getting used to how quickly your OS and other games load on an Optane drive and then playing or using another computer, because everything will feel a lot more sluggish. I really feel that. It's the same as when I went over to 144 refresh rates monitors. When I look at 60 Hz or lower, it feels like sandpaper is being rubbed against my eyes, and that's very much a snobby thing. That's because I've got used to 144 Hz and 144 frames minimum in most games. Obviously, not in Star Citizen, unless you're running single player mode. But yeah, I swear that I could save hours each month in reduced loading times, and loads more if I was encoding videos, though the drives at the moment are a bit too small for video editing, for me anyway. And this is the issue for me, that Star Citizen is going to be seamless in the future, and more optimised, and I feel that purchasing a significantly cheaper M2 drive in the short term, and putting the rest towards a GPU or CPU upgrade, will be money much better spent for a lot of users. In the short term, if you want the best possible gaming experience for 3.0, probably all the way up until like Star Citizen Beta, then the Optane Beasts are for you. You can get so much performance out of them, but it's just so expensive and just doesn't feel necessary when you're talking about the difference between a 5-second loading time and a 10-second loading time. Apparently these drives also have amazing lifespans, although that's quite hard for me to test today. Now, there's also the matter of the Sabre Raven. It's an exclusive ship that comes with the Optane drives. The ship is flyable in Alpha 3.0 as well, and from a marketing point of view, for like ship collectors and the more extreme Star Citizen backers that have to have these cool ships, they are going to be tempted to buy these Optane drives for that sexy looking Sabre variant. The ship is a promo ship, it's not giftable, and if you melt it, it's gone. It only comes with 2 months insurance, so make sure that once the game goes live, that you insure it, because it's going to be quite a rare ship. It's a more stealthy Sabre, really. It's like an infiltrator version, with only 2 size 3 weapons rather than 4 that the Sabre has, but it changes its missile loadout for 2 EMP burst generators, which at the moment are relatively mysterious and unknown. I actually think that goes in the ship's favour for it being quite desirable. Once we know how they're going to be balanced and how those actual systems are going to work, we'll probably not be so interested in the Raven. It's going to be balanced as a ship. It's not going to be a ship that's broken that you go, oh, you can only win in combat, or you can only do this particular task with the Sabre Raven. It's going to be very, very balanced as a ship. We've only really seen the Avenger Warlock's EMP as well, so it's an interesting mechanic, EMP and E-Warfare and that sort of stuff. It should be a solid dogfighter though, but obviously not as much DPS as a standard Sabre, or any of the top-end dogfighters like the Buccaneer and the Super Hornet. In fact, it's become an infiltrator and skirmisher, really, so that's kind of the way you want to use it with other ships, or try not to get detected at all, in and out, maybe attack once a fight's already started. You're only going to be able to get these via the Optane drives, or when the game is live, you should be able to buy them off another player as well. Returning an Optane drive for a refund will have those Ravens deleted, so if you're buying on the grey market, be really, really careful. Always be careful in the grey market anyway. But once the game is fully released, I'm assuming that people will only be returning these drives for repair and replacements anyway. And this marketing special offer for the Sabre Raven should have ended anyway, because it's while stocks last. I'm not sure actually how many Sabre Ravens are available, but I'm assuming for the next few months, people buying Optane drives should be getting them anyway. If you want the Sabre Raven and are looking for an SSD, then yeah, the Optane is an extremely attractive option, as is if you have a load of disposable income and just spend money on your computer, then yeah, great, grab an Optane. I just feel that in a game that's going to have just one loading screen when you boot it up, and the rest is seamless, no loading screens, and when the technology is almost certainly going to be better when the game is closer to completion, that a cheaper SSD in the interim is going to be a safer bet. Or spending that money, those upgrades, on a CPU or GPU. I think you're just going to get better gains for that. I would not have bought the Optane drive personally at that price if it had not been for the viewers on my stream, like Aventador, Stormfire, Seredni, F-Cadet, Irish Star, Relapse, Papa Boone, loads of name drops, and literally dozens more actually, that donated money for it. The only issue with the drive is its price, but it's certainly something that will drive SSDs and technology forward, so that's definitely a good thing. And I'll put links to Newegg in the US and Overclockers in the UK for Optane drive purchases, and update them if I find them anywhere cheaper anywhere else. Every month we do a ship giveaway. For November it's for a Pioneer, the massive base building ship, donated by our featured org, Matadors. Links below if you're looking to join an outlaw group. I've also done a organisation spotlight on them, so you can find out a bit more information about them. Links to all of that below. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my Star Citizen videos during the particular month to be in for a chance of winning that ship. Do you have any questions about the Optane drive, about the Raven, about Star Citizen's performance, about Alpha 3.0, or the development of Star Citizen in general? Chuck them in the comments below. A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do and buy things like the Optane drive and hardware and stuff on my computer for testing, and we will do a lot more stuff for when Alpha 3.0 comes out and talk a lot more about getting cheap PCs, expensive PCs, diminishing returns, and all that sort of jazz hardware-wise. Do that in the future. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well, because it really does help me, and I will see you in the verse.